from the root. Mark Benschop, Papa do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benschop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benschop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benschop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Making the short video for send to you and the viewers and listeners. All know we punishing in Guyana. Punishing. Rice gone up, sugar gone up, flour gone up, cost of living just gone up, gas gone up from 3,400 to 3,800. Real hungry days under this installed PPP government. Real hungry days we gone back to. Guyanese? Oh! Real hungry days, real hungry days.
Good evening. My name is Mark Benschop. Let's get straight down to business. Thank you so much for sharing the link. We have so much information that we want to share with you. And so we would just get straight into our business. Sometimes people are beginning to call this the big people's show, right? The grown-ups show. Anyways, look, what's on the screen here is something that I saw maybe in what is it? Keith Michael Austin and these guys, they stay on top of situations. So uh, was it in the Daily News or something? And I mentioned Keith Michael Austin because time flies so quickly. I remember Keith Michael Austin, Keith, correct me, Chief Engineer, Guyana Broadcasting Corporation, uh, almost 30 years ago, right? Good to see you. And glad that you have checked out YouTube and updated us to let us know that you guys are getting us via YouTube as well. So good evening to not just Keith Michael Austin, but every one of you watching this show this evening. Again, thank you so much for sharing the link. Let's get straight on into business. 100 years ago, a black community was destroyed by a white mob. It's right there in your face. 100 years ago, a black community was destroyed by white mob. I believe this is where President Biden visited in Texas. But the reason why I'm actually showing this to remind you guys that this is just one of many incidents that actually occurred during that maybe that era. But it's happening 100 years later. It is happening, not in Texas, not somewhere down in Atlanta or wherever else, Alabama, Mississippi, and those places. It's happening, guess where? And I need you guys, it's happening in Guyana. Yes, it's happening in Guyana. The installed apartheid regime, this is what they're doing. They're breaking down people's houses. They're breaking up people's homes. They're smashing things down. They just don't give a damn. They have no regards for people. They have no regards for the hardworking people of Mocha. And I'm specifically talking about the people of Mocha. They have no regards to the people of Mocha. And let's be straight up about why they don't have any respect for the people of Mocha. It is because of their ethnicity. Their ethnicity. As you can see here, look, this is it. This is how they treat this woman. And the reason why this woman is being treated like this, it is because she is, and look, we've just got to be straight up. It is because she is a black woman. Had she been any other ethnicity, look, let's cut a chase. Let's be straight up. Do you think Irfan Ali, that goon who sits there as the installed president, do you think he would allow members of the Guyana police force to do this to an Indian woman? Now, let's be straight up. Now, come on. And we got to stop being apologetic when it comes to reality. This would have never happened. The Hindu organization, the Sabah, and all these other organizations, the CIOG, which is the Central Islamic Organization, they would not have allowed that. But yet, all of them are silent on this matter, all because the woman is a black woman. So they just don't give a damn how she is treated. Treat her like a hog. Does she deserve this treatment? Do the people of Mocha deserve this treatment? They don't. Well, this is apartheid South Africa, which is no different than apartheid Mocha, which is no different than apartheid Guyana under the installed corrupt PPP regime. All of this is happening. But look what they like. Look what these goons in the PPP love. And so this they're going to celebrate. And there's not much about this. There's absolutely not much about this. And we're making much about this photograph. Now, I have visited the Dharamsala, I believe it is, out there in Alboystown. It's a beautiful place, lots of elderly folks. And speaking of elderly folks, good evening to the folks out there at Long Island Nursing Home. Good evening to all the folks at Long Island Nursing Home. Now, look, you guys don't get carried away. This is just a lot of folks have done this to me, regardless of their ethnicity. This is nothing. It is not like this woman is sitting there and she clasped her hand, obviously being, elderly, they're mannerly and these sort of things. She probably could have given him the middle finger. You just imagine me as an old man, right? And someone like this pop up to me, a dictator like this pop up next to me. I'm not going to do this. You know, because they don't deserve this here, a glass pan and so forth. So this is not anything that anybody is bowing to this goon here. She's just probably saying, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. And people do say that sometimes, right? People do say that sometimes. If our operator, Lemon, who doesn't want to remove this, get it off the screen. But let me say this to you guys. Good evening again, right? There are times, hey, good afternoon. It's done. Good afternoon. It doesn't mean that you're bowing to anybody, But people have different ways of saying good afternoon, hello, hey, what's up? Yo, what happening there? Whatever. And this lady is just saying good afternoon. So y'all don't run away and make a big thing about this, and it's nothing. What she has done there is nothing, gesturing to someone who is actually nothing. Simple as that, So we have far more important things to talk about than that, because they love this sort of image, because it helps them with their propaganda, to make it look an appearance that there is just one Guyana and that people love this goon. People don't love him. People just don't. He has ill-treated people when he was a minister of housing and all manner of stuff. He's very arrogant. He's very silly as an individual. So don't buy into this this camera tricks thing. I want to pay all Guyanese. And don't buy in. He's arrogant. He's an arrogant little boy. That is what he's about. Arrogant. He is visionless, and he has no plans for Guyana in terms of development. No plans, none whatsoever. So again, do not be fooled. Y'all stop buying into these things. This guy doesn't have your interest at heart. None whatsoever. Take a look at how arrogant and silly he is.
Mr. Watts, he is armed himself. Shots, watch it, tear gas. Live rounds, also I can see that.
But since my cousin there, no, you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? No, you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to you.
Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up to talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If we didn't do a protest, then we want to see nobody for justice. I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice of my family.
I get visitors all of a sudden. All of a sudden, This is Joker. Who is that Joker? That piece of plum.
So y'all witness the real, lagu bagu. The real. That is what he is. So forget about hello. Forget about that. That's not him. It's not in his blood. That's not him. Look, there's a Monica Johnson is saying here, who knows if the lady putting a curse on that file? It could be. You never know, right? You just never know. Hey, we have some listeners around the globe. They have some opinions that sometimes brings out a little humor in a very serious matter. So getting back to this here, it means absolutely nothing. But they love this sort of image. They love it. So after they finish brutalizing the people of Mocha, disrespecting the people of Mocha, destroying their homes there in Mocha, losing the police on them, and then I walk around at the Dharamsala and they're pasting this photograph all over social media so that they can brainwash people. This poor lady, just probably, who knows, maybe it is a curse she put on her. You never know. I know for those who believe it, somebody put a curse in you, somebody put a spell. I don't know, but it could be. It could be. You know, this is basically to remove attention to what they have done to the people of Agricola. Uncalled for, bulldoze the people's homes, all manner of things they have done to the people of Agricola. All manner of things. And yet, majority of Guyanese are silent. The women's organizations in Guyana are silent. We haven't heard from a statement issued by the women's arm of the People's National Congress or the women's arm of the Alliance for Change, if they still exist. What about the WPA? I'm not sure, do they have a women's arm? What about the WPO? Which I believe is the PPP's women's arm. They're not going to issue a statement about these things. They don't care because they move into Agricola, destroy the people's homes, destroy everything for the people, their livestock, every single thing they destroyed because these people happen to be black people. And that's why they destroy. That's why the PPP, that is why Irfan Ali, they felt comfortable to do this. Guess what they're doing it, or why they're doing this? They're doing it not in the name as they claim development, as they pronounce the word develop. Development. No, it is because they have their eyes on this land and they want those people away. It is not about any road and they got to build road to develop and it's not about that. Absolutely nothing. It is not about that at all. It is about corruption. It is about basically brainwashing the people and basically taking advantage of them. These are people who have been there for over 25 years. People have been there for 30 something years, all manner of things. Again, I ask the question, do you think they would do something like this in a predominantly Indian community? Do you think they will go into the indigenous people community and do this? I know they have disrespect. We all know they have disrespected the indigenous people of Guyana. We all know how they treated them for 23 years. We all know how they have threatened to slap them and do all manner of things to the people there in the Amerindian community. We know all of that and more. But look how they're treating persons in Mocha. They wouldn't go into Manripo to do this. They wouldn't go into Port Moran to do this. They wouldn't go certain places in Essequibo to do this. They're not going to do that, but they feel comfortable rolling in the African communities and destroy every single thing. And nothing, the people just stand by and just allow them to do that. Just a few policemen who were sent there to do the dirty work of the corrupt, murderous, racist PPP regime. Look at what is happening there. Who is going to repay these people? Who is going to compensate these people for all of their stuff that they've lost? Who is looking out for these people, even as I speak to you? Is there an organized opposition that would go in there to talk to these people, to probably counsel some of these people as to how they're going to pick themselves back up and rise above this victimization, this racial and political victimization by a corrupt installed regime? What is the ABC country or the ABC representatives saying about this? What is Sarah Ann Lynch saying about this, the U.S. ambassador to Guyana? What is the Miss Miller, the British High Commissioner to Guyana? What is it that she is saying? What about the Canadian High Commissioner? What are they saying? This is gross human rights violations. This is against United Nations Convention. All manner of things. This should have been stopped. It should never have been allowed to happen. Never. And this is not something that just happened the other day. It was an ongoing something. And so those who know how the PPP operates, they're very wicked and they're very vindictive. They're spiteful and they're racist. This is exactly what was expected. And the question is, why wasn't there an injunction filed against this corrupt PPP regime? And now I'll do this. And if members of the coalition are watching, those who want to watch, not those who are vexed, and those who are silent in the opposition, especially those members of parliament who are just basically selfie gurus and Facebook talk shoppers. That is what they are. Why is it there's no proper team to go into Mocha and talk to the people? This is not a fashion show where you rush into Mocha, take a few pictures and rush out and say you've been there and you know. No, it is more than that. The people need more than that. That doesn't help the people. That is not what the people want. The people want proper representation. That is what they're looking for. That is what they need. They feel betrayed. Of course, they weren't expecting anything better from a corrupt and a racist PPP regime. They weren't expecting anything better. But what they expect is proper representation, stronger representation from the opposition. The opposition that they went out there and I'm sure voted in rain or hot sunshine or whatever. Mocha is a place where predominantly it is a support base of the PNCR. It's a fact. The PNCR, I'm told, had a plan. The coalition had a plan to regularize these people. It is not the first time that they've been protesting. Over 15 years ago, I recall there was a protest there in Mocha as well. The PPP were targeting the people's farmlands and all manner of things. And going through that village, it's a strong African culture village that the PPP wants to destroy. Look at how this woman is being treated. Look at it. Look, I'm not here to just mince words, so to speak. You know, I noticed some the usual knuckleheads. The usual knuckleheads. And we got one such knucklehead. Let's take a look at this knucklehead. What the spelling is W-H-A-T. Nizam. W-H-A-T. What am I hearing? Nothing makes sense. What sense? S-E-N-C-E. Sense. Holy smoke. This understands why. Eat You're saying them people is more better now. You like how this was living in the mud. What exactly are you trying to say, Nizam Ali? Let's go this over again. What am I hearing? Nothing makes sense. SENCE, sense. It you saying them people is more better now. You like how they was living in the mud. The people weren't living in no goddamn mud. The people had their homes, the people had their businesses, and the people had their livestock. That is what they had. The people weren't living in any mud. Then again, why do we waste time with these sort of knuckleheads? Can't even spell, can't even write properly. Let's give them an award. All right, so got the award. Why some of these guys don't even have shame? For 20-something years, the people of Mocha, the people of Guyana were neglected. And some of these, I don't know, these guys like Nizam and them, like they went to IFLAT, not even IFLAT. I don't even want to disrespect the people of IFLAT, man. Miss Lane, good evening. I don't know, but something is wrong with some of these folks, man. I swear, something is definitely wrong. But let's move on, right? Let's move on. Something is. We already figured out what's wrong. Some of them don't have sense. SENCE. Seriously, some of them don't have SENCE. You could tell probably he's here for Ali's cousin, right? What else you guys want us to talk about? What else you guys want us to do? You want us to talk about this? We're going to waste our energy on this? Or are we going to get some people and just clean the goddamn thing up and done? And, you know, look, there are times when the Freedom House in New Amsterdam run down. Freedom House in New Amsterdam and other places, horrible looking. You didn't see some folks going around taking photographs and telling the people, caption this. They wouldn't have done that. You think Dennis Shabral of Demerara Waves would have done that? No. But he felt comfortable doing this to the PNC for whatever reason. Dennis has to know. But let's get straight down to this for a big deal, okay? This is the countryside, so to speak. Stone throw away from Georgetown. Let's put this thing into context. A lot of trees all over the place. All right, what it needs is a proper cleaning up in front. Get the stuff going. And, you know, yeah, I understand how some of you feel. Yeah, I understand. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I understand that it's a disputed land and the people probably want their land back. I don't know what's going on, but I do hope that they can focus on these things. That is why the People's National Congress reform, they need a strong general secretary. And a strong general secretary would take some of the burden away from the leader. Because the leader can't do it all. If Aubrey Norton, if you're watching, you can't do it all, and that's the problem. Aubrey has an attitude that he feels he can do it all. And that is what may be causing the problem. He can't do it all. He needs a strong, competent general secretary. And what about the other central executive members? We're not hearing much about them. What about the other people who were running for leadership of the party and different positions of the party that weren't elected? Can they just show an interest in the party? Show an interest. We understand the leadership might be, lacking serious leadership at this time, the party. Yeah, that might be a fact. But if you're a member of the party, and mind you, I'm not a member of the PNC. Let's see, that's right. But, I show support. But if you're a member of the party, since you're a member of the party, look, we get another Nizam Ali. Mark, you really out for Norton? Out for Norton with what? You see, that's the problem with some of you people. That's the problem with some of you folks. Where is it that I'm out for Norton? In what sense? In what exactly are you saying that I'm out for Norton? Are you listening to my comment? Have you listened to what I've said? I just told you straight up. The party needs a strong and competent general secretary that will ease the burden off from the leader. But up comes this nonsensical statement. Mark, you're really out for... Look at all the people who have supported Norton. Some of them are cussing Norton publicly, cussing him out every single day. Do you hear me cussing Norton every single day? I'm pointing out things in a constructive manner as to, in fact, free advice. I never supported Van West Charles. I never supported anyone. And while we're at Van West Charles, didn't you just hear me say, where are the folks who ran for the leadership of the party? Why all of them are silent? Why can't they come out? Why can't they say something? You think I'm going to be a member of any political party and see that this building is in this condition, and instead of doing something, I'm going to sit by and post it up on social media and talk and then condemn, look at Norton, no. Forget about Norton. You do something. You get out there and do something. What about the members of the Central Executive? Where are those folks? Where is a Gary Best and all those folks? Where are they? Where are they? Why can't they do something as well? Aubrey Norton is just one person. He's just one person. Now he has his issues. He has issues, yes. Don't get me wrong. But the complaining and the complaining and the complaining is okay. But do something after you complain. How is it that a group of people who are so concerned about the party, how is it that they're not able... Yeah.
In the whole house.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you.
And there's gonna be some cool stuff.
Some cool stuff. Okay, thank you.
Maybe some PlayStation or a space station.
Really?
Can you put on all tonight?
Not right now. Come. That is on the ear. What do you learn about Dr. Martin Luther King? What about Dr. Martin Luther King? Quickly. What about Dr. Martin Luther King?
Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream.
I didn't hear you. Dr. Martin Luther King what?
Had a dream.
You had a dream?
Uh-huh.
All right, good. Say bye-bye.
And then Dr. Luther King was reading about the appreciative listening.
Oh, great. Good job, right? Good. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. All right, good. Sorry about that. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. Okay, close the door. Close the door for Daddy, please. Sorry about that, guys. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. And so get something done. Organize somebody. Go there, get it going. Get it done. Why we can't see Dr. Richard Van West Charles down there with a cutlass with some folks and saying, come on, comrades. This is all our problem. This is not one person's problem. It is not one person's problem. It's just not. What's happening? Okay, close the door, sweetheart. What's happening? What is... I'm sorry about that. You guys know. You guys know exactly why I had to take a quick break. The interruption. It happens with kids, and we've got to be patient with them. All right, so just get the stuff done, man. Head down there tomorrow, Dr. Van Bus Charles. Head down there tomorrow, some of you guys. Just head on down there. Head on down there, guys. Head on down there. You know, you see, there we go again, y'all buying into this PPP propaganda and the nonsense. You come in, but the Harman Granger control APP MPs are in it. That is BS. Stop the crap. Don't let people brainwash you. There is no Granger Harman PP MPs. They are MPs of the coalition. There's 11 MPs of the AFC. Ask yourselves, how many of them are working? When was the last time you see y'all buying into this crap? But Harman Granger control MPs and all. They're MPs. It's the same Harman Granger MP that Aubrey took and made General Secretary, right? I mean, what are we gonna? When are we gonna run? Come on, G1. Come on, Bonariao, man. Let's get away from this brainwashing thing. Don't let them brainwash you guys, man. Come on, G1. Come on. You can do better than that. You guys can do better than that. Oh, come on. So, look, let's get something done, right? This can be fixed. It can be repaired. And let's get it done. If Aubrey doesn't have the time or doesn't have the vision to see this and get it done, then it is what it is. Look, G1, you're talking about Linden has two banners, two members of parliament. One is AFC, one is PNC. When last you see the AFC one says anything? Just all they doing is collecting taxpayers' money. That's all. And the same look, G1 Bunnery saying, Mark, when last you see the banner from Linden? Answer me, boss man, answer me. But isn't the same banner from Linden through all of his support and some whatever group and all these things behind Norton? Well, what is, boss man? Is what really you telling me, man? G1, come on, man. Don't do that to me, man. Don't insult my intelligence. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that, comrade. You know, the same guy from Linden declared his allegiance for Aubrey Norton through all of his support to Aubrey Norton. Now you're asking me with a banner from Linden. Ask Aubrey. But then again, you know, I remain quiet for now. But you ask Aubrey what's going on between the two of them. I don't know. But there's no fight as Norton and Granger. I mean, Harman and Granger faction, and they may want to walk. No, the leader has to go out there. And once the leader is out there and strong enough, trust me, people are going to go behind the leader and rally behind the leader. That is all. But look, y'all rally behind this building and stop the complaining, because the political enemies love this. But the political enemies, their buildings were worse than this. But nobody care about that. Their building was actually worse than that. Worse than that. Worse than that. Okay, I got you, Gio. You're talking about the AFC guy. They don't care, man. They don't. Hey, I haven't seen Kathy Hughes in a while, man. Good evening to you, Miss Hughes, if you're watching. But let me see here. What else? But look, I saw the president of the GCC, the Guyana Chamber of Commerce, Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, or whatever crap it is. And they were commenting, about this building. So this building is a big issue for them. But when the city was like this in 2014 and all, this was the city, under the PPP regime, under the corrupt PPP regime. This was the city. This was the city. But all these Pakus who suddenly have a voice to condemn, these Pakus in the private sector commission, these Pakus in the heading the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce or whatever, Tucker or whatever his name is, they never condemned this under the PPP. In fact, they love that. They love that. They're not going to condemn this. No, they're not. They're not going to condemn this. No, they're not. They're not going to condemn this. No, they're not. You guys know why, right? That they're not going to condemn these things. But a little house, a little office, all because they got a set of bushes and mango tree, guava trees hanging over it and all manner of things, right? It's a problem. It's a problem. But look, PNC folks gotta head down to that place and just do something, man. Just do something. I have nothing else to say about that. But all these private sector commission people and so forth, they have a voice over a little building, overgrown bushes. You know that. But they were quiet when this woman's house was being bulldozed in Linden. There we go, not Mocha, but this was in Linden not so long ago. You see, that was in Linden, and many people remained quiet. Not much opposition as to what really happened in Linden months ago, and the very thing, probably worse, happened in Mocha, and still not much opposition. I've seen some folks in the area. I've seen Roysdale Ford in the area. I believe Simona Brooms in the area. And we know that Nima Flu-Bess is there, and Nima Flu-Bess has been doing her best. And I commend her. She's from there. She has to stand up for her folks, or fellow Moconians, if I can say that. Mocha Arcade. Stand up for them. Represent your people. But some of them, you know, I'm not sure if Aubrey as leader has went back. Oh, let me don't say that, because there might be some very touchy and very sensitive people watching who might say that, oh, Mark is always out for Norton. Oh, yes. So let me be very careful, right? Oh, Mark is so scared. But since that particular day when that gross human rights violations occurred, I'm not sure if the leader of the PNCR has visited the area again. I just don't know. Has he visited that area again? Are they making an assessment as to what the people need, what they have lost? Is there going to be some sort of class action lawsuit? Is there going to be an injunction? There should be such, because these people have been there for 30-odd years. And just to walk in there and bulldoze the people like that, it is unacceptable. I don't know how some of you guys feel about that, but it's totally unacceptable. But when the city, getting back to this, when the city was like this was 2014. When the city was like this, not much, nobody had the nerve to say anything, just maybe a few of us. When the Le Repentir Cemetery, garbage all over the place. People couldn't even bury their loved ones. They couldn't do it. People right there in the community there, Princess Street, the surrounding area, Pontrench and all those areas there. Some of you from that area watching, nobody cared. You drive by there on Cemetery Road, on both sides of the road, you have to wind your window up if your vehicle had a window, or cover your nose. and drive past under the PPP time, during the PPP time. So the PPP is the last set of people, vagabonds, to be laughing at the PNCR building. Last set of people to be. In fact, this building, it looks way better than how the PPP ran the country. Way better. I mean, but still, PNC folks got to do something about this. But it looks way better than how the PPP ran the country then and how they're ruining the country now. And so I recall the cemetery, Le Ripentier Cemetery. It was filthy. Garbage dumped all over. People couldn't bury their loved ones. People couldn't even go and find the graves of their loved ones. But, it took two persons to stop it. Myself and Freddie Kissoon. Yep, give Freddie Kissoon some credit for that. And we blocked the entire cemetery road. We locked the gate to the cemetery, preventing the garbage trucks from going in, and all manner of things. And I personally went on Princeton Street to get people to come out and join us in that protest. No one came out. Some men were playing dominoes. They were playing dominoes, just stood there and just sucked their teeth because it is what it is, right? The point, we got Freddie Kissoon went to purchase a padlock. By the time he came back, I was already arrested, and he tried to tell the police that he wasn't with me. But of course, I'm not going into breakdown lockups all alone. Freddie had to come along with me, But on a serious note, people got to start standing up for their rights. Nothing is wrong with standing up for your rights. Nothing is wrong with confronting an illegality. Confront any form of illegality or injustice. You got to stand up and confront those things. You can't just sit down and expect somebody to jump up and defend you. Defend yourself by every and any legal means necessary. Stand up for your rights. Don't give up. Your ancestors didn't give up during the days of slavery and whatever else. They didn't give up. Why should you guys give up now over a handful of vagabonds, racist vagabonds in the PPP regime, ruining the country and ruining your communities and your villages, destroying your people? And a few selling out for pittance, a few selling out for a cup of porridge. Look at this guy, Ralph Ramkaran, suddenly is the biggest defender of democracy. When I saw this, I had to smile. Because when Ralph Ramkaran was Speaker of the National Assembly, he didn't believe in democracy. He shut down the PNC, shut down opposition voices in Parliament when he was Speaker of the National Assembly. Everything, 99.9% of the rulings were in favor of the PPP. He didn't entertain proper debates and proper discussions in Parliament. He just didn't give a damn. But suddenly now he's saying defenders of democracy honored in US, not in Guyana. He might have a point, but what is he saying? What have they defended in 2020? Nobody defended democracy in 2020. In fact, they were anti-democracy in 2020. They were more in the corner of electoral fraud and corruption. And they're not necessarily him, but all of those parties, those so-called small parties. It wasn't democracy they were defending. They knew exactly what they were up to. So Ralph, don't give me this Jim Cockburn Ramwood story about democracy. What democracy? Come on, man. Come on, Ralph. Get your bed. Get your bed, bro. Get your bed. Speaking of democracy, they've charged these people over 2 years now. And you're telling me it's now that they're going to amend the charges and they're going to amend them. They're wasting people's time. They're wasting taxpayers' monies because it is obvious that they have no evidence against these people. None whatsoever. If they had the evidence, then they would not have been pussyfooting around with these people. And you know why they're after these people? Because they want to, look, we got to be straight up, man. Right, Maurice Sukraj and guys, I know you guys are supporters. We got to be straight up, man. They're targeting these guys because they're black folks. And that's a fact. Let's not mince our words. Of course, there are Indian brothers and sisters who have been targeted as well, the Aziz and many others. But concerning these allegations of electoral fraud, we see who they're targeting. They have no evidence against these individuals. They target Trevor Benn, former CEO of Lands and Surveys, all these things. They're targeting people because, you know why? The African people in Guyana are under threat by the PPP. Their lands are being taken away from them, and there's scores of people whose lands were taken away from unjustly by PPP regime. People on the Soos-Dijk-Linden Highway have serious issues. So that's another area that we will see serious problems. Serious problems with people's lands on the east, on Soos-Dijk Highway. Meanwhile, these goons are allowed to build their big houses. They're allowed to sell their big houses, as Jack Deere did. This was his house in Pradoville 1, where there were squatters. Subsequently sold that for $120 million, and he has now a big estate in Pradoville 2. This land was ancestral land. They just stole the land from the people. They're notorious when it comes to doing these sort of things. But you think they care? They men care. You think when this one, Irfan Ali, went and what is it? He purchased, as we heard, he purchased this house and land. God in heaven knows the amount of acres from Gaisuko. Nobody questioned the purchase of this land through Nissel. Nobody questioned that. In fact, the head of Nissel then was Brassington, sorry. Brassington was the head of Nissel, and all these prime properties were given away to friends and cronies. Look at Irfan Ali's pool house. You think he could plunge in the pool from on top there? Give me a break. All the prime lands and the prime properties, state properties, given away to friends and cronies. You guys remember that there's a building opposite the U.S. Embassy. That building, I believe, worth more than $200 million. It was given to their friend, Jerry Govaya, who sits there now as National Security Advisor. National Security Advisor, he sits there, but opposite the U.S. Embassy on Duke Street, there was a building there that Jerry Govaya got state property, paid almost nothing for that in terms of value, real value. And these are the people who went after people like Trevor Benn for what only God knows. And they have done 100 times worse or things that are questionable when they were in office. Look at a Sonata Textile compound and all these things. Who you think got that? They give it to their friends and cronies. Jack Deere give it to his friend, Bobby Ramroop. That is where they got it. That is where the compound is for Guyana Times. All of the state, the prime state properties were given away for the most part. State lands, hundreds of acres to their friends and cronies. Taxpayers' money is given away to questionable businessmen to put up hotels, housing schemes, hundreds of millions of dollars, your tax dollars taken away from you to give to Jack Deere's friends to invest in a private company called the Berbice River Bridge Company, where private investors took your money And they're milking it. They're raping you, the people of Guyana. Look at the east bank of Demerara. Look at that road, that housing scheme that is there, that they were expanding the road. They stopped that expansion because it would have gone right into their friends' so-called housing scheme. And they would have had to remove those properties there, but they didn't. They circled around it. But they couldn't circle around the people of Mocha. They want the people of Mocha out. And more people will be forced out of Mocha in just a matter of time if this thing is not, and I repeat, if this thing is not properly addressed. And how those people in Mocha were treated. Others will be treated if the opposition are not strong enough to stand up and say enough is enough. Not just move around and take a quick photograph and run back out and post it on social media. Real action is needed on the ground. And the PPP only understands that sort of real action. In the Constitution, you have that right to stand up and defend yourselves against all forms of injustices, racial or political. You guys need to start standing up for your rights. You guys need to start protesting in numbers. Don't just sit and depend on one or two persons to go out there for you. You guys need to start being brave enough to go out and join others when they're protesting. Before we go, just before we go, I have a question here. What exactly the police, what do they have to hide about this particular incident? That they don't want the wife of this State House incident. He didn't attack no State House. There was an incident at State House, an altercation. Presidential guard was shot, and I'm glad that that presidential guard was able to recover. And there was an altercation at State House. There was no attack on State House. It wasn't a State House attacker. But why are they not allowing the wife of this guy? Why aren't they allowing the wife of this guy to meet with him? Why are they preventing her from meeting with him? Do they have something to hide? Do they really have something to hide? I hope this wrong is corrected and the woman would be able to visit her husband. Maybe her husband has something else to tell her that the police probably doesn't want him to say to his wife. Because if he does say something to her, definitely she'll let the public, she'll let the press know. Maybe that's why the police is preventing her from visiting her husband. They bulldozed the people's homes in Mocha and forced them into this house. Forced them into this house. And again, like I've asked last week, these vagabonds wouldn't even, probably their dog pen, so to speak, is bigger than this. We see that his so-called pool house is bigger than that. And then as we look, again, discrimination. Look at the bottom house. A mother of 5 or 6. Unfurnished. But look at the top one. Auntie Sumintra or Auntie Kunti was lucky. Bigger, beautiful, furnished, fenced. But yet, every day, we got to hear that Paku air finale talking about one Guyana. What is it? What else we can say before we go? Budget Day is January 16th. This is a day when all of the opposition members of parliament are going to dress up. They're going to have speeches. Some of them going to bite up their tongue. Forget about these pakus in the installed PPP. We know most of them can't speak properly. But the ones that are in the coalition, you're going to see how they're going to bite up their tongue. They're going to dress up. I guess somebody helping them fetch the suitcase, the briefcase, whatever. You're going to see them. They're going to perform. They're going to perform for the camera. But we don't want them to just perform for the cameras in parliament. We want to see them performing in the streets, boots on the ground. We want to see them take parliament here in Mocha. All of them should have been there to stand with the people of Mocha. All of them should have been there. But have we seen them there? No. Ramjatan didn't go in there, did he? Unless I missed that. Unless I miss it. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I feel it for the people. They need proper and better representation. Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they wouldn't get it. But we're running out of time. The elections clock is clicking. We're running out of time. And if the opposition do not get their act together, if the opposition do not get their act together, cat, as we would say in Guyana, right? Cat eat their dinner. And those members of parliament who see it as a selfish game, only promoting themselves, they got to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is their constituency. They need to get out there and represent their people. 95% of the opposition members of parliament, ask yourselves, when last did you see them in your community? When last did you see them standing up and representing you? I'm not talking about just handing out a little something here and there. That is not representation. It is not. They need to do far better. I hope I see a bunch of them in Mocha, including Ramjatan and others in the AFC, to go there and have proper discussions with these people in Mocha. Unless these very politicians in the opposition agree with what has happened to these people. Unless the AFC is in agreement with what has happened to these people, I don't know. We got to do more than praying for the people of Mocha. I've got to go, guys. I'll see you guys same place, same time. God spare. Pray for the people of Mocha. Pray for the people of Guyana. And ask yourselves this question. Last week it was, well, not necessarily last week, but it was Linden. People's homes were bulldozed. Then Mocha. And the question is, who's next? Where next? I've got to go. God bless you all. Sweet dreams.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100. 3100.
Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benschop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benschop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benschop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benschop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benschop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benschop, straight up from the root. Mark Benschop.